We're now on a tour of the castle, and we're up on the walls, defence walls. We head over to Edinburgh over there.
Up here on the walls of the castle, on what is known as the Overfort, because it looks down over the fort, the main gate of the castle, just below it here. So just take a look around you. There's a fantastic view to be had from the walls of Stirling Castle. Out to the north and the west there, you can just see looming through the haze the beginning of the Highlands. That's Ben Lomond out there. And beyond it, the Arrochar Alps, straight over on the other side of those bonny banks of Loch Lomond. And a clear day, you can see virtually from one side of the country to the other, all the way down the Forth Valley here to Edinburgh. Of course, it was Stirling Castle's position, perched up here on this rock, at the highest navigable point of the River Forth down below us, and the lowest fording point, which gave the castle its great strategic importance. And it did become the patron saint of Stirling Castle, St. Michael the Archangel, trampling upon the serpent of evil beneath his feet. But come closer, take a better look, particularly at this row of statues which run along the base of those pillars. For they tell a story. They tell a story of a very important event in the history of Scotland, and indeed that of England too. For up here is the King, King James the IV of Scots himself. But next to him there is English bride, Margaret of Tudor, the daughter of Henry VII and sister of Henry VIII of England. This was a very important marriage. It became known as the marriage of the thistle and the rose. The thistle of Scotland, the rose of England. There was an attempt at that time to unite the two kingdoms through that marriage in a treaty of perpetual peace. Well, unfortunately, rather like the thistle and the rose, it turned out to be a very thorny and a very prickly affair. Well, indeed, a very happy one. If you just look up there at Margaret's face, you'll see for yourself that that is not a very happy looking princess up there. That is not a very happy looking lady at all. Indeed, there was little love lost between this pair. And that perpetual peace, well, that lasted only for 10 years, until James IV invaded England, where he lost his life, the lives of most of 2 generations of the Scottish nobility, and virtually the whole of the Scottish army at the Battle of Flodden in 1513, where all the floors of the forest were all weed along. In the words of an old Scots song, it was a disaster for the Kingdom of Scotland. Although it is, of course, from the same marriage that just 100 years after it, in 1603, that James the Sixth of Scots, the last king to actually live and rule here at Stirling Castle, he was then able to rise to the throne of England as James the first king of a united kingdom of Great Britain, because he was in direct line of descent from the house of Tudor as well as of the house of Stuart. And so it did come to pass that a king of Scots took the throne of England. The 2 long warring nations were at long last united in peace. Except, of course, in the football field. But if you follow, and the rugby pitch, to say nothing of anywhere else. So let's make our way up in Harling. Harling's a very traditional lime-wash, weatherproof coating against all the scorching sunshine we get here in Scotland, all year round. There's a thick layer of lime mortar applied over the soft and permeable sandstone, and that's followed by several thin layers of lime wash, into which is added an natural ochre pigment, which gives it that yellow colour, which is known as King's Gold, and described as King's Gold in the original accounts of the Master of Works who built the hall. But that is how it was originally decorated, and not just the hall, but all of the buildings in the castle at that time, including those walls and that gateway with its towers, were all harrowed in King's Gold. This was a golden castle perched up here upon this rock, proclaiming to all who saw it from far and wide the power and the majesty of their king living up here on the rock, to all of the common folk living down below in their mud-coloured existences, so that they could gaze up in wonder at the glory of Stirling Castle. Oh.
The Great Hall.
When he built this chapel in 1594, in the space of 6 months, it cost more than 100,000 Scots pounds. Completely unheard of some in his day. That's worth about 30, 40, 50 million pounds in today's terms. And he built this chapel up here on the rock at Stirling with the precise proportions of King Solomon's temple in Jerusalem, according to James VI. And James VI was the king to know. He gave all of the dimensions of Solomon's temple within his own authorized version of the Bible 400 years ago, still in use throughout the English-speaking.
That's what he's talking about up there. Chamber. He had a nice electric fire going, and this is supposedly the king's bedchamber. His little bedroom. Electric fire going quite nicely there. There we are.
Where's Mr. Stanley? She is on the table with the arrogant. That's a bit confusing. Well, I'll go home and come in on. You get cold.
No, can you, right? No, like a doctor's ring.